Welcome. In our next lesson, we continue from where we stopped. In our previous lesson, we talked about the explode tool, the stretch tool, and the scale tool. Now we want to move to the next tool in the modified toolbar, which is called rectangular array. Under it, you left click, you see the other ones that we are going to talk about: rectangular array, path array, and polar array. So let's start with rectangular array. But before we go ahead, we need to pick a box and draw a box that we want to place in array. Array, as I've already told you, if you want to know the definition, just place your cursor on that object and it defines it. It distributes object copies into any combination of rows, columns, and levels. So that's how rectangular array works. So let's click the first one. You left click on it, you see it say select object. So you select this object I want to place in array. By the time you select it, you press enter. You see what has come out, and you see that in our interface it has changed to the interface of array because the command of array is still active. By the time we finish with the command of array, the thing will disappear. So now you can play with it. If you want to have maybe 6 columns, you can have 6 columns. If you want to have maybe 4 rows, you can have 4 rows, and all these ones are the dimension in between them, and so on and so forth. So whatever you need, you can just play with. Once you finish it, you now left click on the empty space here to finish that command, and you now, by the time you see, you now left click again. That means you press your, in array, please don't forget, you press your enter command 2 times before you finish with the array command. So by the time you do that, let's go to the second one, which is called path array. In path array, it signifies, let's see the definition again. In path array, it evenly distributes object copies along a path or a portion of a path. So you must have a path before you can use array. Let's assume that this is our curve that we want to array some of our object. Let's pick a rectangle again, and let's assume that this is the rectangle that we want to put here. For it to align with it, we can even click it and rotate it a little bit. You rotate it a little bit like this. Once you rotate it, now you can now go back and pick the array, the path array tool. You left click on the path array tool. It will tell you select object. This is the object that I want to array. That's number 1. You press enter. By the time you press enter, it now tell you select path curve. This is your path curve. You select it. By the time you see it, you can see that it's 4. This one too, the interface has changed, so you can also make some changes. This 4 now, you can choose to increase it if you desire. You can see here that it is not showing that you can change it because the distance is not much here. So just play with it, whatever you desire. That's the rows. If we want to work with the rows, you can just change any figure that you want that suits you, and once you finish with it, you press enter, and that's the end of that command of path array. Lastly, the polar array. Polar array, most times we use it to set chairs around tables. So let's assume that this circle, let's draw a circle. This is our table. We now want to set our chairs along this circle. That's what we use polar array for. So let's draw another rectangle. Let's assume that this is our chair that is here. We have our chair here. Now we want to make that chair go around this thing. Instead of copying and that one will be cumbersome. So that's what you use array for. So you go to the you left click on this place, you you click polar array. Polar array, you see select object, you select the object that you want to array along this path. Enter. Don't forget, you now specify the center point of that array. That means you go and specify the center point of the circle. You specify the center point of that circle. So by the time you left click on the center point of that circle, you see that the other chairs have been set. If you want to increase the chairs, maybe it's not enough, you want to make it 10, just go to items, make it 10. You click again, you see that it's now 10. So whatever you want to do, adjustment you want to do inside this box here, you can do the adjustment. And once you are finished with it, you are satisfied with what you have done, you press your enter to finish that command. That means we have been able to talk about array, rectangular array, path array, and polar array in this lesson. Now let's move to the next tool in our modified toolbar. It's the last but not the least, I can assure you. It's called offset tool. This offset tool is meant, if you place your cursor on it, creates concentric circles, parallel lines, and parallel curves. So let's pick a line. By the time you draw a line from one place to another, you press your F8 to make it straight. You press it down, you end the command. Now we want to make offset this line so that it will make it double or triple, as the case may be. So you go to offset, you left click. By the time you left click, it will tell you specify offset distance. Let's say our distance is 1000 millimeters. You say enter. You see the crosshair, it has changed to pick box. So that pick box means that you can now pick that line, whether to the right or to the left. So if you want to pick it, you just continue. You just continue, and each of this distance is 1000. So that's how offset works. And when you are through with what you want to offset, you press enter and you end the command. Don't forget, when you want to end any command, you press enter. And if you are confused, you don't know what to press, or the thing you don't know where to go, just press escape button on your keyboard. That will save you a lot of stress. Thank you.